Welcome to FreePod. I'm here with Dr. Sarah Avery, physical therapist and founder of Moon Cycle Seed Company. Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so thrilled that you joined me today. Um, it was so funny. We went home for the 4th of July week or weekend, and we ran into you at the well, it's not a supermarket, but a food market. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know you. I used to see you at the YMCA all the time. Um, and then next thing you know, you're showing me the moon cycle seeds, and here I am, a subscriber.
I know. It's great. It was very a funny story running into you guys at the farmers market.
Yes. So I would love for you to share a bit about yourself.
Okay. So I'm Sarah. I am a doctor of physical therapy and I specialize in women's health. I started Moon Cycle Seed Company in 2019 as a way to share with women natural ways to help support and balance their hormones. Um, so that's in probably 3 years now. I got a certification as a professional yoga therapist. So what that does is allows me to talk about lifestyle medicine and different ways to support your body, not just through exercise, but it also um, allows me to support people in a way that is not only traditional physical therapy.
That's really cool. I
Thank
love
you.
that. Um, I wanted to know, so with your physical therapy and helping women, what inspired the Moon Cycle seed company?
Actually, okay, so there was kind of there's a few pillars that hold that up. Um, I think at the core of who I am the oldest I have many sisters. And no brothers. So I think estrogen was a huge thing in my life without me even knowing that it was completely surrounding me. And I think subconsciously, I always just wanted to be a good role model for my sisters. So health and wellness has always been something that has been inherent to me. Um, and then, more personally, I think it was probably, I don't know, within the last decade, I suppose, maybe even more, I came across an article that was actually talking about toxicity in tampons, which is like, what the heck? I put this thing in my body every single day for 7 days, once a month. So I was doing the math on how many tampons a woman would go through throughout her lifetime, and the number is astronomical. And it scared me to death. So I began to dig a little deeper and thought, well, if there's this thing in this one thing that I put in or on my body, what else am I putting on my body that could be disrupting my hormones? And it really I really went deep on like making my own household cleaners, on really like eliminating foods that I shouldn't be eating, like really just going mostly organic. So it was quite a lifestyle shift that took many years. It didn't all just happen at once, but um, I would say that the natural route kind of found me. And then, all of this was happening alongside me wanting to go into physical therapy. So um, I'm trying to think of when my friend got married. So I was a bridesmaid in one of my friend's weddings, and her friend from Portland, anyway, somewhere on the West Coast, was also in the wedding, and she was a fantastic soul. I don't even know if I've told her that she inspired me to start this company, but I hope she's listening. Um, I was sharing these concerns with her, and she said, "Well, have you ever heard of seed cycling?" And it just blew my mind and changed my life forever. So I started seed cycling, and that really helped a lot with my symptoms of PMS. It really helped my complexion, blood sugar regulation, which hanger is a real thing. Um, And then I started grinding the seeds and sharing them with my friends and some of my sisters, and they started to see positive changes. So I thought, if I'm grinding these and putting them in mason jars for these people, how can I make this more accessible to the local community and also across the US?
That is so cool that you like were inspired by talking to someone else, about seeding. Like I know that I personally did not know about it until I actually ran into you that day. And as you know, I personally have endometriosis. So I've been in a place of just wanting to find something more natural because I'm always, I have two heating pads, I have ibuprofen, I'm still in pain on top of all that. And I was just like, I need to try something. And somehow, our paths crossed. So I think that's cool that that's how that came about. But I was wondering, can you share what is the process? What does it do for your cycle?
Okay, so well, yeah, so seed cycling is a natural protocol. So it's pretty well known in naturopathic medicine, but you kind of have to be looking for that sort of thing to even know it exists. Um, so what it is a rotation of 4 edible seeds in your diet. So you're combining ground pumpkin and flaxseed during the first 14 days of your cycle, which is days 1 through 14, day 1 of your period to ovulation, also known as the follicular phase of your cycle. So this is where estrogen is on the rise. So we're trying to balance that out by utilizing the nutrients that are in the pumpkin and flaxseed. And then days 15 through 28 of your cycle, so ovulation to the next day 1 of your next period, is also known as the luteal phase, where progesterone is on the rise. So we're trying to support the body during that phase using ground sesame and sunflower seed to help with that. So it's just 2 tablespoons of the seed blend. So you're getting 1 tablespoon of each seed daily. And you can put it in oatmeal, smoothies, yogurt. I honestly heard somebody say that they put it on their macaroni and cheese. So it's like kind of, that's what I love about it is that it's just food. It's just an addition to your diet. So you're not going through this elimination process where you're like feeling like you're suffering and like restricting yourself from something. So I like to approach it as, oh, I have to take my vitamin today.
Yeah. And that's actually cool that they put it on their mac and cheese. I think I might have to try that.
Honestly, I've like, you get bored doing the same smoothie or salad or soup. Like it's great. And I'm certainly all about like I like to follow what I call the 80-20 rule. And I know that that is out there, but 80% of the time you're eating foods to support a healthy lifestyle. And then 20% of the time you're indulging and enjoying life and feeding your soul. So if you can do seed cycling during that 20% and maybe put it on your ice cream, that's a good one.
Well, thank you for sharing that tip too, because I've been putting it in a smoothie. So I'm definitely gonna try all of that. And you have what was cool and what I was reading when you gave me the pamphlet is that you actually, because yes, you could go out and get the seeds and do it, but I just love that you like, I know with how you are with health that you're going to, people that you trust to give you the seeds that you want to use naturally, and then grinding it up for us and putting it in. I love the fact that it has like the moons on the top, so I can just X off that day and be like, yep, I did today. So uh, for your subscription, how does that process work if someone were to get your seeds? And where do your seeds come from?
Yeah, so I do order the seeds online. They come from an all organic, kind of a all organically farmed in the United States. And the seeds are raw. The seeds are, like I said, all organic, and they are really the highest quality that I could find. I'm always searching out new vendors to see like where can I find the highest quality? So it kind of does change throughout the seasons. So the seeds I grind them fresh. So before you order them, before they go out in the mail, or before I bring them to the farmer's market, they're ground so that they have the highest potency. And then they are immediately refrigerated. And it says to refrigerate when you get them. So if you're ordering online, I would ship them right to you, and they come in 2 separate canisters. So they're already ground and blended for you. The hardest thing that you have to do is to remember to take them every day. But to be honest, it's pretty fun. You can get creative with it. And on the website, there are different recipes that you can use too. And on Instagram, I'm always trying to put something up to inspire people to use healthy foods. And you can really dive into that too, where a good resource is Woman Code by Lisa Vitti. And she outlines in that book different foods that you should be eating during the different parts of your cycle. So anything that is on my website are recipes that I've created, but they're using that same concept to give you that much more support. So like, avocado during this certain phase coupled with the seed cycling, you're kind of getting a very powerful punch there with your nutrition.
Oh man, you just made me think of like avocado toast and putting it on them
Oh,
too.
that's my favorite. It's so good. I'm like notorious for a little bit of sourdough and then avocado over hard egg. And then the sesame sunflower blend goes really good with that. The sesame sunflower is nice with more savory, and the pumpkin flax goes good with sweet, like oatmeal, or that one's a good one for the smoothies.
Oh, well, I'm learning a lot now, even more.
It's
Um,
cool. It's
yeah,
fun.
yes. Oh, I wanted to ask you. So you don't have to obviously say their names or anything, but like with your clients that you've had, what are some of the changes they've seen for themselves, like with their seating?
I I oh my gosh, it's so variable. People have used it for fertility, and I think the biggest one that I've heard is for PMS and helping with those difficulties. Because with PMS for women, I think we kind of gloss over it and kind of laugh about it, like, oh, it's just this expected thing that happens every month, and it's like, well, that's a problem because you're essentially becoming somebody that you truly aren't, and it's these hormones that are kind of taking over and making you irritable and making you confrontational, and it doesn't have to be that way. So you really can support your body um to be a little more even throughout the cycles. So that's kind of more on, like, that's a big deal, but that's more on the smaller scale. um More recently here, I'm actually going to grab my phone and read her results because it was so moving. So on my um I just have people reach out and share stories with me about how seed cycling has, just the benefits. And one of my I would call her a friend now. She's been seed cycling for a long time. And her success story is that she began seed cycling to help combat side effects from chemotherapy, which sent her into early menopause in her 30s. And after 2 years of struggling with hormonal side effects, she decided to try seed cycling. She said that she has more energy, less hot flashes, better skin, and a more manageable flow to when it comes to seed cycling. And she also said that it helps her stick to making healthier food options because she's wanting to put her seeds in those types of foods. So she concluded that fighting side effects from cancer can make you lose a part of yourself, but moon cycle seeds have helped me fight back and to feel more like my old self again. Which was just incredibly moving. And I never thought that something like this could really have a significant impact on somebody's life like that.
Yeah, that is so beautiful and amazing to hear that. I feel like I read that not too long ago, and I was just like, oh man, this is really, really good. Just trying to find out more about it. So thank you for sharing that
Well,
with
and
us.
honestly, thank her too, because it really takes some incredible strength to put that story out there
Yeah.
and to be vulnerable. So there's more layers to it. So yeah, I will tell her too.
Yes, absolutely. Please do. I know that vulnerability it's like so much bigger than anything. So yes, absolutely. Thank you
Definitely.
to you out there. um so I want to ask you, because you have specialized in women's health, what are some tips you could give women with their health, and especially with their menstrual PMS health?
Oh, that's a loaded question,
I
bro.
know.
And how much time do we have? I think, um, it's not just like here's this one tip or two tip. It's really my point of view on life in general is to find balance. Um, balance in your health, balance in your social circle, balance in your financial stability, all of the things that hold us up as human beings in this day and age. Um, so that's why I really like this yoga therapy and the lifestyle medicine element that comes into my physical therapy practice, because it allows me to talk about seed cycling for women's health. And I really think that these conversations need to start being had with younger girls who are starting to go through puberty. Like, the knowledge is out there now that we have 4 parts of our cycle. The knowledge is out there that you can eat for your cycle and you don't have to struggle. The knowledge is out there now that you don't have to turn to birth control, which in some cases is certainly beneficial. And I acknowledge that and appreciate it so much. And that's a whole other tangent that we could go on here. But um, just having those conversations early on, because if we're empowered in those earlier years, um, what I see is that later on in life, the people that were making these lifestyle changes earlier on have better outcomes with and vitality is really what we're talking about here, and living your life as long as you can to the fullest potential that you can. And I think seed cycling is a nice addition because it brings an awareness to keeping track of the phases of your cycle. And you can really tailor your life around that. Like, throughout those 4 phases, you can exercise differently, you can eat differently, you can even plan your social interactions. Like, if you know you're going to be menstruating that week, you might not schedule a podcast because you're tired, right? Or whatever the case is. So yeah, balance, and just adding things in slowly, one at a time, more healthier lifestyle habits.
Thank you for sharing that. It's funny that you talked about like you can track the menstrual cycle, because I know for me, at least right now, because I'm still in the process of the seeding, but I know like sometimes when I'm on my cycle, I have to stay away from Facebook because I'll see something. I'm like, that is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I think something that I struggle with is that comparison to other women too, like, or, that, oh, they're doing so much better. And I always find that I'm more triggered during my menstrual cycle when my estrogen is at the lowest, where during ovulation, I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. That's awesome. And, you're at your peak estrogen, and that's when you're feeling really good.
Oh, that's so true. I think you're so right about the fact that we need to be talking about it more. It's so funny because the episode that came out today, I actually
Mhm.
talk about this. Well, I talk about how when I was in high school, we were told, so we all the girls would be brought into the auditorium. You had to watch this video on the menstrual cycle, and then like once we left, we were trying to talk about what we saw, and we'd have these adults say to us, "Oh, well, you're not allowed to talk about that right now because the boys can't hear this. The boys are not allowed to, you know, be
Wow.
involved in this." It was very weird. I remember thinking that a long time ago, how it was so weird to be told that, um, because it's a part of the human body with a female. It is what happens. Like it's a normal cycle. So it's so weird that we weren't allowed to talk about it. And I feel like that's where we have a lot of deeper problems with it. Like I feel like for me it was 10 years later to find out I have endo. But I feel like if we talked more about these things and more about the hormones behind it, because it's just deeper than just you bleed for a week, you know what I mean? There's more than that. But people,
Mm.
and there's the pain, there's the mental. I mean, I feel like I go through depression if I'm feeling not so great, or I'm happy, like way wicked happy, or I'm like very angry. It's just all these emotions that I don't feel they did a very good job of explaining or talking about, or
Yeah.
just calling it a bad period. It's like, but you shouldn't be in this much pain. You shouldn't be like on the like I remember I was full blown naked, crying, and on the floor and screaming that I'm in
Oh,
pain.
man. Yeah.
So
And how many women are going through that too? And it's kind of taboo to talk about. And I love that you bring that up too, because there's so many thoughts that I have on that where, separating the boys from the girls. No, the boys need to know about this too, because you know, I think it would create a little more empathy for the woman during those times, of having bouts of PMS, and um, there might be a little more sympathy there if that knowledge was just out there. But more importantly, you can work together, cycle tracking, and maybe saying like, okay, instead of going out for a date night, which is what you said you wanted during your ovulation, where you were feeling social. Oh, now I know you're menstruating, so maybe let's stay in and uh, cuddle up and watch a good movie or something. Um, and then on top of that too, like I've kind of gone through the whole process of being angry at the education system and like, why didn't we learn this in health class? But um, after going through school and, you know, becoming a professional in the healthcare industry, I quickly learned that it's not the fault of the teachers. It's the fault of um, the education system as a whole, and what are we being met with, and what are we allowed to teach, what's in our curriculum, and at some point it becomes the responsibility of the educator or the healthcare professional to dive a little bit deeper and learn a little bit more. But also we need to encourage patient advocacy. So like, the internet is amazing now, right? So we have endless information at our hands, right at our fingertips. And it's up to us to advocate for ourselves and our own health and wellness, and bring this information to our doctors, and have a conversation as equals, and not, oh, I'm the doctor, so I'm up here and you're down here. But okay, maybe I need to learn a little bit more about you as an individual. Um, so yeah, there's that.
absolutely, I definitely agree with you on the education system, because I do know that I know there's that's like a whole nother world. It's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
thing, but I do know that they are really they are based on tests. That is their specifically in New York. It is full blown tests. So I feel like the
Oh God,
teachers
yeah.
have no room to
Oh
do what
yeah,
they want to. It sucks.
totally. They're totally overwhelmed. And it's like, if I were a teacher, I would say, it's that child's parents' responsibility to teach them those things, but that's not always the case. And I think, moving forward, we are the generation now that can teach our children, like, hey, there's more to this, and then it keeps evolving. And I think that's the beauty of the age of the internet.
Yes, I agree. I think that advocacy for mental health, for the menstrual cycle, for endometriosis, PCOS, all of those things.
Women's health in general, yeah.
Yes, I feel like it's starting to get bigger and stronger. So I can't say that like we're going backwards. I feel like we're just always going to be going forward. And our children's children will probably be advocating for something else, hopefully.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like this is going to be old news.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Like I think the only thing that makes me sad about it right now is there's still people to this day that are so embarrassed to go to the store and buy either their natural products, or if they're still continuing the other products. I tried to go more natural because of what you said. I did actually discover that, I don't know if a friend sent it to me or however it came to me. I was like, what? This is what's in your pads and your tampons? Like,
Oh,
this
you
is
saw that
insane.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite alarming.
it's scary. It's so scary. And the fact that your body absorbs like things like that,
Yeah.
it's just crazy. So yeah, like I just like hope one day people will be like, you know what, I can go to the store and buy this and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And that's, that's where education comes into play too. And it's like, okay, I have these options, which it's like McDonald's or the organic grass-fed beef. Like that one tastes better. My brain thinks that tastes better, but in reality, I know that this one's better for me. So it's like this is cheaper, but we have to start questioning, why is it a cheaper product? And maybe making that investment for your health long term now, because later on those medical bills are going to be insane if we don't take care of ourselves early on.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing all of that because it's so beneficial and helpful. Um, so
Were we,
normally at, oh wait, sorry.
nothing. I was just going to say, were we talking about seed cycling? How did we get there?
It's okay. It's okay. So what I want to ask you is how can our listeners find you?
So the most interesting way to find me is on Instagram. My handle is Moon Cycle Seed Company, all one word. And then you can also find me at mooncycleseedco.com. And there I have some blog posts and recipe ideas, and you can check out our products with seed cycling and our moon milks.
Thank you. And I did see on one of the posts that something new is coming, right?
It's something,
Something
yes,
new.
something new. Yes, yes, yes. It's a secret, Bree.
That's
We're
okay.
still in the works, but I promise it will make everybody happy.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. I'll keep my eyes
I'll
out
keep
there.
you updated.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, usually at this time I have affirmations, but before we started the recording, you said you have an affirmation that you live by and support and back. So I would love for you to share that affirmation for everybody listening today.
And I wish I could give credit to the person, but I have no idea who said this off the top of my head right now. But my favorite quote lately has been, exercise is a celebration of what your body can do and not a punishment for what you ate. And I think that holds true for, a balanced lifestyle, because you can apply it to other things in your life too.
Yes, I love that so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I
Great.
appreciate having you here.
Well, I appreciate you having me on here. This is fun. And if you do go onto the website, you can use coupon code LUNAR10, all one word, to get $10 off of your first subscription.
Thank you for that. I am so excited for the friends listening that are gonna pop onto that.
Great.
Absolutely. So I usually end this with that, you are loved, you are worthy, you are cherished, and I am proud of you. Until next time on the Free Pod.